And we're recording again. This is going to be BTP episode take 3. Actually, it's not take 3, but that's what we're going to call. Also, we know that the episode don't start until
Josh fails 5 times to flick
that
the
was
tip.
so bad.
I've never seen you fail so many times to flick the tip.
Well, do you know what the important thing is I didn't give. I've got a Tirang Real tonight that I'll be drinking out of, apparently.
It's funny because, like, in the right light, the cup looks golden.
It's an extra dollop kind of night. You know what I'm saying? You get where it's good and you give it a little dollop. A little dollop will do you.
You could fill a whole room with a dollop of Daisy. Or is it you could buy a whole room?
It's true. It's true. You could. You could indeed. Watch me pour this Coca-Cola into nothing that I hold with my hands. This is going to be trippy.
Strictly audio enjoyers, I promise you he's not taking, not relieving himself at the J-on.
For our audio listeners, you guys should really
for
go
legal
to
reasons
and see what's happening.
For legal reasons, he's not in front of a urinal or a toilet. There's shit on the outside.
Welcome to the Black Tower. Sorry, go ahead. Say what you're saying. Talk your shit real quick.
Oh,
get it out.
No, we're good.
No, go ahead. Go on.
It was a Letterkenny reference because we don't make those at all on this podcast.
Oh, quick tangent. Shoresy. That show is funny as hell. I love it so much.
I'll have to take your word on it.
Black Tower Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Black Tower Podcast, where we dose out weekly doses of tainty goodness, the likes of which the world has never beheld.
We dose it out. We dose it in. We dosey-do. Whatever
dose it around. Based
whatever dosey like you do dosey. We done did it. That's certified South right there.
Oh yeah, it is. See, and the
maybe
fun
good
part is
maybe good or bad depending on your love of language. I just heard some English teacher and English major's soul so bad.
When I was in Georgia, and I bought my first house down there, and I met my neighbor Sammy, and I swear to God, he was Boomhauer. The only words I could understand out of that man's mouth were cuss words and slurs. But that was it was God damn it. And you're just like, whoa, what? I'm sorry, what did you say? And I said, I knew that I didn't
know what we're saying, but we want to make sure you understand the hate.
Yeah, oh yeah. And when I knew when I'd been there too long is when I understood what he was saying. And I didn't even realize it. And he'd just come over and and I was like, oh, Sam, just chilling, just having a good old time. And I was like, oh man. So there it is. That's it. That's the story of why I love Georgia, but also needed to leave Georgia. Hi, I'm Josh. I'm the Sora von Mahale.
Hi, I'm Andrew, the Vajon Mahale. I should go grab the new envelopes came in. I should go grab one while you tell them where our Amin Khan Mahale is.
Yeah, our Amin Khan Mahale is he's still out. He will be back soon, but he took a move and someone left their dream spike running, so he had to go the manual way. But he's getting situated in his new digs, and yeah, he should be going. And you know what? You guys know how I know this is going to be a great night? For all those of you who are not patrons, you're missing out because the Patreon live chat is already popping off. We got some tainty bastards in there already. Extensions
of other channels. But so we took the feedback from the previous envelopes. I'm a really big fan of the mostly black with red lettering color scheme. And that would have been fine if I had made the QR code red as well, but I didn't, and didn't really have a way to easily do it. So we inverted the colors. So the new envelopes are all red with our logo in black lettering.
Hold on, keep it up there. I'm gonna get a screenshot real quick so I can put it in for our patrons so they get to see it first. Okay, good.
All right, and then here is the back with the. If this thing will ever focus
Okay,
on. Okay. With the return
those
shipping
are
label, our letter,
tight.
and the QR code as well, that you could actually see, so that maybe your camera could actually see. Yeah. So hopefully that
Dude, I
all
love
works
that.
out. Yeah, I like it too. I think it definitely looks a lot better, and it is nice that you can actually see the QR code. Again, the QR code. Yeah, there was a QR code all along. It was like an Easter egg, I guess, an unintentional Easter egg. Yeah. I got my last one. Yeah, I know because I failed. So the last stickers went in regular envelopes, like peasantry, because I didn't order new envelopes in enough time. Oh, there's still other stuff we got to do, Josh. Remind me Patreon stuff after this. We got a couple things we actually need to talk about that I just remembered.
All right.
Yeah. So new envelopes, good envelopes, hopefully good envelopes or whatever. And do not worry, even though the little flap that seals it is that liquid or wetness or whatever activated fucking sticky bullshit. I still will just be putting the BTP sticker on it for I don't know. Let's claim COVID awareness.
Activated.
Yeah. Let's get your mom over here and just swipe and seal. Oh no.
Fuck.
Did you spit or did you manage to swallow?
I spit, dude.
You know it's a good laugh when it starts pushing your fucking earbuds out.
Shit. Okay, so Andrew broke me. Oh God.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
I will say,
like I said,
I'm definitely proud of that one. Oh,
okay. Woo! We got a great episode for you tonight. Oh.
Wow.
Oh. Okay.
I had to get up and go turn down the AC. It was getting warm in here.
Oh. It's getting warm in here. It's getting hot in here. I might take off all my clothes.
So yeah, in the future, the stickers will come in these nice red envelopes where you can actually see everything, and the QR code is less of an Easter egg. Again, it just links to blacktowerpod.com, which is a fantastic site to go to. I do highly recommend it. There's definitely no bias there. I'm definitely not saying that because that's our website. I mean, I definitely am, but I would say it even if I wasn't on the podcast. Probably, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I know I would. Absolutely. Completely. Non-biased. Totally. Oh, God.
You gonna survive there?
Oh, okay. I'm alive. Okay. Before we pop off with the next best concentrated taint delivery, Andrew, should we make sure that everyone's protected?
I think I want a new sticker. I want a new swipe and seal sticker. I don't know how you'd get that one
Oh,
done.
goddamn.
And if we got
I need
questions
that.
about some of the ribbons we got done, I can't imagine a company agreeing to do swipe and seal stickers. Oh, but you know who does agree to do things? Me, apparently, through the mail, and more Shotty's here to tell you all about it.
Welcome to the Black Tower, a Wheel of Time podcast. All right, let's check this one. This podcast will likely be spoiling books 1 through. Oh, what's this? An envelope addressed to me. No name, though. Let's see what's inside. Oh my. This podcast will likely spoil all the books in the series, and apparently being a Patreon will expose you to information that should be left unseen. Protect yourself by pulling that spoiler condom all the way on. And I need a drink. That's way more of Andrew than I have ever wanted to see. Why would you braid it down there?
Why would you not?
The Volja.
Oh God. Okay, you made me laugh so
I do
hard.
think it is. Oh no.
Got my throat
Did we
full.
dislocate the solar plexus?
My chest? Yeah. I'm gonna give myself compressions while you continue that thought.
Makes you feel any better. I think I still have a rib that's slightly dislocated from when I had food poisoning like 8 fucking years ago. So I sometimes feel your pain. Not at the moment, but many times
Not
I
at the
feel your
moment.
pain. But it is funny that like that was spoiler warning about envelopes, and we have new envelopes. That was not planned. Like this spoiler warning was planned for this episode, like before 2022 even ended. And it just worked out that way. It must be a sign that this is a good episode. Either that or the envelopes are a good decision. But was probably an even better decision is to actually talk about the topic of the episode instead of maintaining our frat boy status and rambling.
Oh, that's right. We
23
don't even
minutes.
talk about the Wheel of Time.
No, we don't. And we always, when we do, we always agree on what we say.
That's right. We never get into arguments at all. We never disagree.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. So
What are we talking
tonight.
about?
Okay. So tonight it's another metaphysics breakdown. Like, because I know you all love them. You love them. You love it when we just chew in and suck out the marrow of one of these little topics. And tonight's episode is no different. Tonight we're sucking out the marrow of the Horn of Valere. For those of you uninitiated or unfamiliar, the Horn of Valere is an object of the power. It is believed to be a ter'angreal, but it is not. But its main purpose, its main function, is to call back heroes of the Horn to fight for the Horn bearer, specifically, hopefully, for the last battle.
Yeah. I got completely distracted. Oh, what is going on? Like this is the 4th time this has happened tonight. It happened in pre-recording. It happened here. Jeez.
Oh, dude.
Hey, what up? So
Well, I think
let's
okay. Just to kind
Where
of
do we
do
wanna
this, I
start
think
with
we can break this down in a couple of different ways, right?
Yeah.
Because first off, is it a ter'angreal or not? Right. I would make the case that yes, it is a ter'angreal. It is one of those ter'angreal that you do not have to be a channeler to use. So it's something from the Age of Legends, purportedly. I guess it doesn't really ever talk about the origin of the Horn of Valere. What if the Horn of
it's
Valere
older.
is like
It's
ancient?
older than Age of Legends.
How much older though? Like, is it just one of
No
those
idea.
things that's just been around forever?
Seems though. I mean, so yeah, let's talk about like the nature of what it physically like is. Thinking of it of a ter'angreal is not altogether incorrect. It does serve a particular special singular purpose. It does not require a channeler to use, which we've seen in Terangrial before. And is kind of one of the main features and namesakes of Terangrial, giving an ability to use a channeler like power without being able to channel one's self. But we don't know who made it. Robert Jordan confirmed in one of his blogs from October 4th, 2005, that it was made by mortals, not gods or the creator or anything like that, that it was made by people. And so physically, it's a plain curled golden horn. Think something similar to a French horn without the middle piece with all the plungers, I guess, for the tone.
I always think of like the Christmas horn. You know what I mean? It's like a horn that goes out and then comes back again. It's got one loop and it's just like
yeah, that's fair. I mean, some of the art shows it having 2 to 2.5 loops. It just kind of depends.
And then the show, they had, I think that was what the kind of a horn it was as well.
I don't even remember seeing it in the show, to be honest with you. But,
you know what? They just showed the case. They didn't actually show the horn itself.
Which I also, in looking at this today, realized that the show changed that part slightly less than I initially thought they did, because I forgot all about the fact of it being in the Faldaran storeroom when it was stolen. So it quasi combines. It doesn't excuse the eye of the world, the fucking pit of the world. It's not even the eye of the world. It's fucking pit.
It's not it. Yeah, there was nothing there.
Anyway, but it is believed to be older than the Age of Legends, and at some point in my reading, I would like to think that I'll be able to tell you more to that effect. I don't know that I will or won't. So, but it is inscribed with the old tongue. So it's got silver script inlaid around its mouth, which I'm not familiar with the parts of a horn. I believe is the actual sound projection part. Considering the scripts that are there, doesn't seem like it's enough to be on the mouthpiece.
So the end where the sound comes out is the bell of the horn, and the mouthpiece is the small side where you actually.
So is it really just like? Is it just really tiny around the mouthpiece, or is it like just kind of along the? I don't know.
So there's a specific shape. So like I played trombone in junior high. Had aspirations of being in a ska band, and I'm proud of that. Mm-hmm. But basically, you get the small piece on the end is actually a mouthpiece, and it's so when you like purse your lips and blow into the like that, you blow into it.
I found my answer.
That vibration goes through the piping and comes out the bell, and it blasts out in a clear sound.
I found my answer. So Tarvalon.net, if you're listening, you need to go back to the general section of your Horn of Valere entry. And instead of it just being inlaid around the mouth, it is the mouth of the bell, which would be kind of where the bell starts to flare out and open up. So it's there. Helpful edits, not criticizing. I'm really thankful that anybody has this shit up there. It is inscribed with, I'm not even going to try to read it in Old Tongue. Josh, you're better at that than I am. Which I mean, obviously having finished the series, it becomes very interesting that it has Moradin in it.
Which is
the actual capital M.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always kind of, at least kind of interesting to me. I thought that it would have like a bigger connection or impact than it did.
Do you know what's interesting about that though? Sorry, cutting in again.
No, you're fine.
Moradin being capitalized and literally translating into like death or the grave or whatever. Could that literally be almost referring to death as a pronoun? A pronoun?
Like as a name?
Like as a name, like another name for Shaitan or the Dark One or something like that, saying that whoever is bound to this horn is not, because what do the Forsaken always say? Whoever dies, the Dark One can just claim their soul.
Yeah.
Right? And we don't know how much truth there is to that, or how much of that is a lie, but we do know that the Dark One cannot touch the souls of the heroes tied to the Horn of Valere.
Could be.
So I wonder if that's an interesting one. That's an interesting little thing.
Yeah. So as to the age of the horn, thanks more Shoddy for posting this in the live chat. From April 20th, 2004, there was a tour questions of the week part 1. And I believe this was done in a format where it could be copied and retold verbatim. The question was the Horn of Valere known and used in the Age of Legends, or did it only appear in the Third Age? Robert Jordan stated that it was known in the Age of Legends, however, and that it was an artifact of an earlier age. However, it was never used because there was no need in the Age of Legends. There was no, there was no need for it. But in part, it wasn't used because there wasn't. It wasn't a need, but it was also because it could. What it could do is considered a sort of myth by most people in that age. It says no one who is serious spends time trying to test whether a myth might be real. Seen anybody sacrificing a white bull to Jupiter lately was his comparison. And once the Dark One touched the world, before the War of Shadow actually began, the horn was among the items lost and thought destroyed in the first rush of mob violence, terrorism, and the like. It wasn't available then.
You know, it's interesting though, because that is one of the things, because we just talked about Luz Theron and him trying to figure out how things work in the War of Power and how they nearly got overwhelmed. One would think that if they had the Horn of Valere accessible to them, they would have tried to use that. Did they try to use that and it still didn't work? Like,
oh, okay. Freaking more Shoddy dropping all kinds of knowledge. So about Moradin, lowercase means grave or tomb, but capitalized it means the grave, which is also a stand-in for death. It is intended to be a language of subtlety where the meanings of words can change to a great extent according to context. Remember Moraine's comments on the difficulty of translation. So very fair point. So anyway, the old tongue on the Horn of Valere is widely accepted as translating into the grave, or death is no bar to my call. It's always some version of the two. Either the grave is no bar to my call, or death is no bar to my call. Whichever way you kind of choose to go with it. I don't even know how to say that. Gallarhorn. No, I'm
Gallarhorn.
It's Nordic.
Yeah.
Which is one of the real world parallels for the Horn of
Valere. The horn is kind of a common theme in the mythology as well.
Yeah.
You've got the horn, the Gallarhorn, which I just posted a link in the live chat, and that's the horn of Heimdall, which is supposed to signify Ragnarok. What else does that sound like? It sounds like the horn of the Archangel Michael, which is supposed to sound the second coming, and a vessel of fire opened out onto the earth. There's a lot of
the what?
Isn't that Archangel Michael when he blows his horn?
Talking about the one that signals resurrection.
It's like the end of the world, I thought.
Yeah,
or is it Gabriel?
It's part of. Yeah, it's the Horn of Gabriel. The Horn of Gabriel signals the resurrection, which occurs at the end of the world associated with the second coming.
Right.
So same time frame, same idea, but more directly linked to what the Horn of Valere does.
So this could be, not only is it a cool like storytelling mechanism, but it could be one of the many things that Michael Livingston pointed out. It could just be one of the many things that Robert Jordan did that he liked as a recurring theme throughout the different stories that humans have. And I'm not saying stories as in they're not true. Like, obviously I understand that people's people have faith rooted in some of these things. I don't say stories insultingly. I say stories as in we're talking about them from the story perspective. But the story of a horn heralding a return, or heralding the end, or heralding some kind of a iconology like that, that's a very common thing. And I think this is one of those things that Robert Jordan was like, you know what, we're going to put that in there because he really liked to recycle some of those stories as well. And I thought it fits really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, you can see like Nordic mythos had an incredible impact on Robert Jordan's writing. And I don't know too many people that can sit down and read or watch movies or documentaries on Nordic mythos and not be entranced. Because generally, these kind of mythos that, just like with Sparta, these mythos that surround the more thought of violent or warfaring peoples of history seem to gather a lot of attention.
Right.
You know, most people aren't really sitting there worrying too much about, you know, Athens turned peaceful. Like, oh yeah, birthplace of democracy and blah blah blah. Okay, tell me more about their fight with Sparta and how Sparta like won, then lost, and then lost, and then won, and then lost.
Well,
and lost.
Yeah, and Sparta lost because of economics. They simply could not support their own need, because everybody in the city was essentially active duty military, and that was their job. That's all they did. And eventually the Helot population that was supporting the Spartan citizens physically could not farm enough food or make enough money or whatever the case may be. So they it's an example of an age of empires who put all of their experience points in military.
I mean, there's also the myth that like Sparta was this. I mean, it was a very large area of the Greek peninsula, but that like they had so many people, and that you know, like 90% of them were soldiers. They really weren't. It was a very small portion of the Spartan military that was actually soldiers that were actually part of the hoplite. The remainder being either captured and forced into soldierdom style servitude, or allies or whatever. It was a lot more.
They were more like squires. Yeah. They trained with, but they were not granted the title of Spartan knight.
Yeah, I mean, so they were, and also used mercenaries for a vast majority of their conflicts. So, but that doesn't make as good of a movie, and I'm pretty sure Gerald Butler wasn't going to work as hard as he did on those abs for the story of Spartan mercenaries versus the noble last stand at Thermopylae.
That was another thing in the movie. I loved the movie, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
Guys, they went into battle in full armor. They did not go into battle with a helmet.
Another example of why like a sequel is so often bad. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Back to the Horn of Valere. So the nature of the Horn of Valere, the way it works and everything is very reminiscent of a ter'angreal, and it seems like the only thing that really potentially prevents us or anyone from calling it a ter'angreal is the fact that it is from an earlier age before the known creation of ter'angreal. So the most historical record we have is the discovery of how to create ter'angreal during the Age of Legends. Prior to the Age of Legends was our times, and unless they're using holograms and special effects, I ain't seen nobody blow no horn and bring people back from the dead. You know, on in real life, seen it plenty of times on screen. Well, sometimes it's not a horn. Sometimes, you know, you put the pieces of a sword back together and somehow magically it's physically sound as a blade again. But it summons all these people back from the dead.
Hey, the elves have some weird techniques, man.
Yeah, I mean,
we humans can't comprehend.
Yeah. So there's nothing saying that it isn't a ter'angreal, but given the limited history, you know, of where ter'angreal were conceptualized and created, we don't know. So generally it's just referred to as a powerful artifact, as a relic. the same thing is going to happen for all the Angreal, Serangreal, Terangreal that are found eventually in the future. And it could be any of those. Interesting fact, the interesting part of that is because it was confirmed by Robert Jordan to have been created by a mortal with the cyclical nature of time, there has to come a point where the Horn of Valere is destroyed so that it can then be created again. So it is like many other Angreal, important to note that it is not impervious.
Yeah.
But I do challenge calling it a Terangreal. Simply because of the scope of its ability.
So
it'd be like a Ter Song Angreal.
I would say that there are plenty of points that make it a Terangreal. Okay. You can look at it and say, yeah, this and this and this. The one thing that I will say that I think sets it apart from all other Terangreals, and that would make me question whether or not it is a Terangreal, is the fact that no other, granted, we don't have a vast catalog of Terangreal, but according to the Terangreal that we've come across, there is not another single Terangreal that reaches into another world, pulls those things back into this world while preserving their initial traits, their own unique traits, and then allows them to go back into the world, and then only allows one person to utilize that Terangreal for the rest of their life. Because as we know, when someone blows the Horn of Valere, it is tied to them until they die. No other Terangreal.
Not the rest of their life, but until they die. A very important distinction.
It is a very important distinction. But the point being, Terangreal don't work like that. Terangreal don't imprint themselves upon people. Or if they do, that's the only one that does.
I mean, will we count the what was it, like the hedgehog? No, because it wasn't linked just to one person.
Anyone can be succumb to the hedgehog. Yeah. Take the oath rod, for instance. You can bind someone with an oath rod and make them do or not do something, but that oath rod will still work for every other person you bind.
But the Horn of Valere, soul bind.
If I'm the person directing the weaves and binding someone with the oath rod, I can hand it to someone else and they can bind someone else. It is not imprinted to one person after it is given to them to use one time. Also, and I'm just going to throw this one last point out, and I'm jumping straight to the end, where Matt Cawthon looks at the heroes of the Horn and goes, am I one of you? And they go, ha, 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 ha. No, gambler, you're not. It's a choice. So becoming a hero of the Horn, at some point in time, you are given a choice. Now, I don't know how you're given a choice. Does the Horn appear to you as Mjolnir and say, you have been found worthy? Would you like to join me on my quest for Camelot? I don't know. Is there an entity? Does the creator come to you and say, would you like to be a hero of the Horn of Valere? You have proven yourself to be worthy. We don't know how that happens. And that's I think, would be a pretty persuasive statement to say that it is not a Terangreal, that it is something else. It is a truly unique item.
Yeah. Essentially, I saw in the live chat there was a point made about just like how Mogideon pushes Brigida out of Tel'aran'rhiod. Is it possible that the Horn was conceptualized and made in Tel'aran'rhiod and pushed out into the world? I like the idea, except for the problem of how Brigida naturally degrades over time. When she is unnaturally pulled out of Teleron Riyadh, she degrades over time. Her memories start to fade. She starts to show signs of like almost being ill, like she is physically, maybe not visually, but tangibly aging, and becoming more and more fragile. You kind of see this kind of trope in interdimensional travel movies where somebody from another dimension goes into another dimension where they have a person already exist.
Right.
And them being around each other causes issues, or because their matter doesn't belong in that universe, they start to slowly die and degrade over time. So I don't, unless it takes so long for that to happen, that's what causes the horn to disappear and then be remade. That would,
Interesting.
if that
point,
is the case,
though.
then it puts the Horn of Valere decidedly in the scope of Sa Angreal and more powerful than Kalendor or the fucking staff or Voro Sa Angreal. Like decidedly.
One thing though that I just kind of connected the dots on. Brigida is bound to the horn. When she is removed from the horn's influence, protection, connection, whatever that relationship is, when
Get
she's
connected
removed from
for a
that,
free education connection.
she
Sorry.
is no longer privy to the benefits of that connection, which means she loses memories from her past lives because your brain can't retain it all. You talk about memories from 1,000 different lives. There's a lot of skills, experiences, a lot of things that she's learned over the thousands and thousands of lifetimes that she begins to lose. What if the hero of the horn's connection is something that is an emulation of the Dark One's connection to the Forsaken?
Oh, you mean like a connection, a chosen style connection to the creator?
Yeah. So, because that
Um,
would make sense, right? You have to choose it, which the Forsaken chose it, declared it publicly, blah, blah, blah. They
mm.
chose to be Forsaken and then enter into the Dark One's protection connection, whatever. Protection connection. Heroes of the Horn
Is that
would
when
have
you
been
tie two
found.
Trojans together?
Heroes of the Horn would have been found worthy of that, connected to the horn. But we've seen both sides be disconnected. Now, Asmodean, we don't really get a lot of information from him about what it's like to be severed from the Dark One's protection. All we really get from him is, yeah, now I'm subject to the taint as well, and I will go mad because I no longer have the Dark One's protection in that area. But we do see Agenor at the Eye of the World, who once Rand severs that connection, almost immediately decays, and they're able to just blast him because he immediately loses a lot of the protections that he appreciated and enjoyed.
I mean, it would make sense that it is similar to, but on the opposite side of the, I guess, moral spectrum or whatever, from the chosen, because it would fit the theme of balance, right? If the Dark One is able to have these champions of the shadow that can be corrupted and selected, then there should be a way for the light to do it. I mean, the only potential question I could see in that is the soul of the dragon and well, not even arguably, but in the same hand, the soul of Amarasu, which I will still never get over the tongue-in-cheek hilarity of naming the female counterpart to the dragon a Mary Sue. Like it's equally hilarious and equally fucking horrible.
Right.
But you see it so many times. Where you just carbon copy place, because God forbid somebody come up with a uniquely new, very strong female lead. The question then becomes, because those souls are treated completely separately to the Horn of Valere, so they get like special treatment from the light. And part of the whole perception of why the fight for the side of the light is so like turbulous, or yeah, so turbulous, whatever.
Turbulent.
Is that they're always greatly outnumbered because evil is so alluring, and going to the good side or the light side is so hard. You know, this kind of Christian ideology of narrow is the path and straight is the way kind of thing. But it would fit the balance thing, except for how heavily skewed the numbers are. But there's also the massive kind of conditional thing for the Heroes of the Horn, that some guy or somebody fighting for the light has to find it, blow it, and then be there every time it's needed. And then hope that if they really need it, that the dragon banner isn't flying somewhere within whatever the sensory range of the heroes is. Which is another thing I saw in the live chat, where at Falma, them needing the dragon banner to fight where they didn't need it at Memory of Light. They didn't need the dragon banner to fight at Falma because it was present. Like its status was an override to the inherent programming of the Horn of Valere, where normally they strictly and only obey the horn sounder, but the dragon banner is leagues above the Horn of Valere apparently, or is a Tyron Grial of sorts, built purposely for this, to force the Heroes of the Horn, no matter what, to fight for the dragon. That when that banner is flying, they are obligated to follow it instead of the horn sounder, which is why Matt gets snubbed in what should be his premier role as a general, which is kind of funny considering how much of a very effective and powerful general he becomes later on, unknowingly separated from the horn.
Again, I would say this is another argument against the horn being a Tyron Grial, because now not only do we have, conditional functionality, but along with the conditional functionality, we have conditional obedience. And we even learn that even if a dark friend were to blow the Horn of Valere, they couldn't command. I think it's because they couldn't.
That's what
command.
we're told.
Yeah,
that's what we're told. That is what the rumor says. That is what legend says. Does Dr. Hawkwing say that?
I think Hawkwing says that they couldn't fight against the banner. So like if Moradin blew the Horn of Valere and said, look, there's the dragon, go kill him, and Rand rode onto the battlefield with the dragon banner, they'd be like, fuck you, dummy.
All right, so during the last battle, Dr. Hawkwing states that the Heroes of the Horn fight of their own free will and serve the light, and that if a servant of the shadow blew the horn, the heroes could refuse to serve him.
Yes.
So they have a choice.
Yes.
It is also revealed that the Heroes of the Horn are not invincible, and that battle damage could force them back into the world of dreams to heal.
So
yeah,
to add into
Heroes of the
Nordic
Horn are great
mythology,
heroes. They're summoned to fight for the light. So yeah.
To add into Nordic mythology, warriors who are valiant, brave, and die honorably in battle with a sword in their hand are selected by the Valkyrie to join Odin in the halls of Valhalla, right? Valhalla
To
is
then ultimately be summoned back by Heimdall.
Valhalla is feasting.
And there's Oliver in the Nordic legend too. Spelled the exact same way, Olver.
Yes. So these heroes, when they're summoned by the horn, they fight. If they die, they just go back to Teleron Riyadh. They just go back to literal feasting hall.
You ever played League of Legends and died, and you just go back to respawn? Just Dr. Hawkwing watching a cooldown timer, buying new gear and buffs. I reached level 3037. All right.
Right though. But so you've got conditional, you've got unconditional summoning.
Here's the thing.
Horn? No, you've even got conditional summoning.
Where's the query filtered for who gets? Here's the thing. What anchors them to the horn? Is it the horn itself? Is it? I mean, so they have to be anchored to the horn itself through some mechanism that is powerful enough which isn't unheard of because we do have the Dream Terangriel, but powerful enough to transcend literal dimensions, right?
Right.
So this is an incredibly powerful link. It has to be. Well, a fairly powerful, because we've seen people, they can act because it is the closest dimension to real world, and it's also Teleron Riyadh is the place where all
But
possibilities converge,
it's
which is how
also,
Teleron
from what we
works, by the way.
understand,
If anybody
and
didn't know.
it's also, from what we understand, an eternal link. Because while it is a choice to become a hero of the Horn, and given how much choice is involved in this whole thing, we can deduce, or we can surmise, that maybe once you're done being a hero, you can just go home. But at the same time, we don't know. So there's a lot of choice tied in, and it's an eternal connection. That's gotta be something of tremendous power.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing, because Autocracy does say, like, oh, hey, it is a, gambler, it is a choice, which it is interesting. Like, obviously, whenever Ultra Hawkwind first speaks to Matt, he calls him Hornblower or Horn Sounder. And then, of course, in the last battle, he calls him Gambler. But he says that, it is a choice. But, how many people have died in battle? How many people died in Blood Snow thinking they were fighting the noble good fight against IL, saying, like, I fought the good fight, I'll come back as a hero of the Horn, and never did.
Yeah.
So there has to be a filter there. So
Yep.
is the Horn of Valere so incredibly powerful and so incredibly focused in its goal?
No, Rob. No, they did not.
Imagine dying valiantly in battle against the IL only to come back as Gawain. Fucking hit the restart button. Respawn. Oh, God.
Respawn.
But I mean, like, so how is it so incredibly powerful that the Horn itself is the anchor, is the query system, it is the filter for who is even eligible. And then, like, it's like freaking Sword Art Online. You log in and get a prompt. You are eligible for a hero of the Horn. Do you accept? Does it pop up like a side quest in a VR MMO? Well,
that was
that'll be interesting.
Great insight, Andrew. Well said.
Yes, totally. I mean, so that is the question, right? The only thing that we have as a link to explore is the Horn itself.
Right.
So, which raises its own questions. Is the Horn that powerful that it is the end all, front to back end computer program and item that both anchors everybody to itself, that provides that link, that provides that sustenance in Teleron Riyadh, that filters who is even eligible to become a hero of the Horn, and then logs the choices of them for who says yes or no? And if it is, then, because Robert Jordan, again, like we said earlier, like he said, like in 2004, we said a little bit in the live chat, if the Horn was created by mortals and not gods, that means it was created inside the scope of space-time, which meaning it had to have a beginning, which in the cyclical nature of time means it must also have an end to have a new beginning. So is there a time where there are no heroes of the Horn because the Horn does not exist anymore?
That would that would also suggest thousands of years, well, thousands upon thousands of years after the Horn was initially created, for whatever this weights and measures entity is, to judge the valor of different souls. Or, since these souls are just being recycled, when the Horn is destroyed, and
you're
then
gonna talk to me like that,
time,
you fucking recycled soul.
And then it comes that's a sick burn, bro. But then when they create the Horn for the first time again, quote unquote, do all those souls automatically just be like, oh hell yeah, we're back, bitch?
Oh, okay. So Morshadi
'Cause-
did post something. This is from
Oh
November
yeah.
11th, 2000, Barnes and Noble chat with Robert Jordan. The question was asked, is basically, aside from the heroes of the Horn walking around in the world of dreams, is there any kind of afterlife in Wheel of Time? Do the heroes get a choice when they are linked to the Horn? Can they retire or take ordinary life sabbaticals? Robert Jordan's answer, and I think the wording is very, very important here, just like I do all the time. It's fucking nature of the beast, I guess.
Well,
Answer to the
not only
first
that,
question, yes. Yeah. So yes, there is an ordinary afterlife in the Wheel of Time. Answer the second, no. You cannot decide not to be a hero linked to the wheel. So the not is all caps. So like Josh, you were mentioning earlier, you can decide to be a hero, but once you decide to be a hero, it's a lifetime or
The-
eternity appointment.
it's
But I think
eternal commitment.
But I think maybe the better part of this quote that that I like, and Morshadi again mentioned as well, is it kind of answers what is the anchor point for the heroes of the Horn, and the anchor point is the wheel. So,
So presumably when the
Uh-huh.
horn is created, you can. I have created the Horn of Valere. I can and have 1,000 heroes descend upon me.
wait, sorry, one more time.
So I am a hornsmith. Okay, I create horns. I build brass instruments because I'm a ska enthusiast, and I can channel. And I got a full circle of Sidene and Sidar, and we're all doing our thing and having a great time. And we build this Horn of Valere, and then I blow it that night, and then a mist rises, and 1,000 souls come out ready to fight. Or if I create the Horn of Valere and I blow it that night, does nothing happen? Which one?
Hmm.
Yeah, sometimes you blow the horn and nothing happens.
Yeah. I mean, so the interesting part too is like the summoning of the heroes is designed as a temporary thing. It's not like you blow the horn, they come out and they just walk around until they all like, you know, get to retirement age and die of natural causes again. You don't actually pull them back into the
Right.
waking world.
Right. No, they are not. They're like half in, half out kind of a thing.
Yeah. And I mean, and one of the things is like these individuals, one of the things was mentioned in that question, can they choose ordinary life sabbaticals? We know from Brigida and ugly dude, what's his name?
Guidal
Also the
Kane,
G. Yeah, Guido Kane. That they're not exempt
who's not
from the
Oliver.
normal. Yeah. They're probably related somewhere along the line, but who knows?
I think I still stand by my theory that Oliver is cute as shit, and Matt's just super jealous that he pulls all kinds of ladies. And Matt's like, why? Look at him. He's ugly. He's an ugly little shit.
Could be. That Brigida and Godel Kane, they get spun back out into normal lives. And if all these heroes are going to have memories from thousands upon thousands of years, they have to be able to be spun out again as their soul is needed, to walk the living world as a flesh and blood person rather than kind of observe
Okay.
it to some degree from the outside.
Let's ask this though. Okay.
And yes,
okay.
apparently at some point in the future, Ahsoka Tano is Brigida.
I'm bringing 2 points. I know I did that wrong. Don't judge me. I don't care. In the live chat earlier, Morshadi was talking about that souls are spun out to serve a specific purpose by the wheel. We also have confirmation that if Arter Hawkwing as a soul has been spun out into the world and is living a common life as a commoner, and the Horn of Valere blows, Arthur Hawkwing will not be taken from his life as a commoner to fight on the fields of Marilor, right?
Yeah.
So what if the connection, what if the relationship or connection is not to the horn, but it's a commitment made to the creator, and the creator says, okay, to take some IT into this, puts them into a different, Active Directory group and says, you have these permissions. And so that it doesn't matter if the Horn of Valere exists or not, you've still got 3,000 heroes of the Horn. So at some point in time, during the great turning of the wheel of time, maybe someone who's a dreamwalker, they meet one of these heroes of the Horn, which we know that the heroes of the Horn are not supposed to interact with mortals or people who are still alive, but we know it happens. So maybe this person gets the inspiration, because they're supposed to get the inspiration, to create the Horn of Valere, which can then call all those people who have made the commitment to be a hero of the Horn to the creator or to the wheel or to whatever that is. And the horn isn't what everything's bound to. The horn is merely a key.
It's an access key. It's the fucking Chodakal access key into the heroes bound to the wheel.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense, because I was going to get into that, because reading the answer again, which is funny because I'm like, yeah, wording is important. And then I skip over some of the way that Robert Jordan's answer was worded. Not a hero linked to the horn, or to the wheel, rather. So not a hero of the wheel, not a hero of the horn, a hero linked to the wheel. So there could be this pool of heroes that are linked to the wheel. That would explain how you can have a continuously important soul reborn for specific purposes, like the dragon's soul, like Amarasu, like presumably the soul that keeps being reborn in the Gen IL that leads to the creator's pseudo avatar, like Nakomi. See, some of you thought maybe I didn't know anything from Origins, and I do. I still haven't read it, but I know a few things. Thanks, Josh, for the spark notes, by the way. So I actually really like that idea, and it brings the Horn of Valere's power scaling way back into the realm of possibility with the
way back into reality.
Yeah, that it is just an access key into these pool of souls for the side of the light. And it would make sense too then, because you could put the limiters on who could use it on the horn itself. Because think about it, there's nothing expressly about the soul itself that is shielded and protected. Otherwise, Mogideon, as a Forsaken, could not have forced Brigida out of Teleron Riad. If she was protected so thoroughly by the creator and the side of light, Mogideon could not have forced her out if their souls could not just not be affected by the shadow. And it also explains why someone from the shadow could potentially blow the horn, but then the heroes could just choose to ignore them. So the souls themselves aren't immune from the call. So it seems like, honestly, the whole thing of like, oh, this thing is useless to the shadow is a misnomer. Because if you become a hero linked to the wheel, you're going to be on the side of light. You're going to be on the side of good. You're going to fight for the quote unquote good things.
Presumably.
Whenever asshole McGee McDarkside pops up and says, hey, come out here and slaughter this village for me. And Arthur Hawkwing goes, not only go fuck yourself, but I'm going to take justice here and fuck you with it through the stomach. Time and time again.
Can they attack the horn sounder though?
I mean, nothing says it can't.
I think it's implied that
Maybe
they can. I think it's said that they can ignore. I don't think they can.
Okay, fine. his lieutenants and generals and the rest of his army. But you get what I mean.
I mean, no, but there's
nothing
to be
stops
like,
them from popping up and actively working to counter their plans if they're like summoned by, someone with evil intentions or whatever the case is. So I mean, yeah, fair point. I don't think they can actually attack the horn sounder, so that's fair. But everybody else around him is fair game, I guess.
yeah, no, it's an interesting. That's an interesting aspect.
I don't know,
too.
because it's weird because they're also supposed to be bound to follow the orders of horn sound.
But that's what I'm saying.
But they can decide not to if they're part of the shadow.
I feel like it's one of those, like, it's a choice that's so obvious it's not really a choice. POV, I am a hero of the horn. Some asshole blows the horn. I hear the horn. I look down and I see it's an asshole who is a dark friend. And I go, no. Because I know that if I go down and answer the call of the horn, I will then be bound to follow the order. Unless the dragon banner is present. So maybe I could look and see, okay, is the dragon banner anywhere? No? Okay, cool. I'm not going to do that then. Because if the dragon banner is present, they can do whatever the hell they want. Well, no, can't necessarily do whatever the hell they want, but they can ignore the orders of the horn sounder for the one who rides underneath the dragon banner, if I understand that correctly.
I mean, I think we're overstating their obligation to the horn blower or horn sounder or horn blower. Well, actually, fucking, they use both words. I kind of, other than a use case where the horn binds itself to whoever used it, I think that it doesn't bind the hero summoned to the person that used it. Because again, they have free will choice.
Yeah, they're not.
So
they
can't have free will choice only when it serves the light. They either have free will choice or they don't have free will choice. It's not a either or, because as soon as you limit free will choice, it is no longer free will choice.
If you limit free will choice in any way, it is no longer free will choice. Period. End of story. Like, I know people will take that as an extremist statement, but that is
well, it's not
either
it's
or.
It's pure reality. Free will means like shield it, well, not shield it from, but devoid of outside forcible influence, right? Free will means you made this decision purely of your own accord without anybody outside telling you that you have to make this choice or anything forcing you to make this choice. You can be influenced, but you can't be forced to make that decision.
My favorite thing was when, as a great example of this, as a kid, what was it? You had $20. Doesn't matter how, maybe you mowed a lawn, maybe you found $20 on the street, doesn't matter. But as a kid, you have $20. And what do? You run home and you say, Mom, look, I got $20. And she goes,
she says, good job. Rent, thanks.
We're dismissing that for a moment. You go, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to buy $20 worth of candy. And what does she say? No. You do not have free choice with that $20. I don't care. You do,
how but then she's got free choice to deliver that ass with.
Hey, but if you call home to mom and you say, look, I got $20, and she goes, cool, you can do whatever the hell you want with it. And you go, cool, I'm gonna buy a dime bag. And she says, cool, you can do whatever the hell you want with it.
Daryl?
That's free choice. It doesn't matter if the choice you make is a bad choice. Because part of the whole freedom of choice thing is freedom to make bad choices as well as freedom to make good choices. So I guess ultimately, what's that?
Sorry. So more shoddy, doing fact checker Mahale shit posted another thing. So this is a Q&A with Brandon and Maria. And somebody named Therese asked, I'm guessing you're aware that Robert Jordan told a couple of fans that the heroes had to follow the horn no matter who blew it, and that if the shadow blew the horn, there would be some kind of rift in the pattern. What's the story there? Brandon goes on, and I'm going to try to paraphrase some of this. If you're listening live, then obviously you can look at the live chat and see what more Shoddy posted. If you're not, then this is a good reason to join the live chat and listen live.
I was about to say also one of the benefits of being a patron is this is only accessible in our patron only channel. So
yeah, the expertise of more Shoddy, the fact checker Mahale, only accessible in Patreon or wherever else he decides to fact check.
Does that make the fact checker Mahale one of our patron benefits?
Yeah, can we extort you for money? Probably not. Probably shouldn't actually go on the episode. That's probably a big no. I'm pretty sure YouTube will hear that and be like, no.
Don't worry, I'll edit that out.
Yeah, it'd be a fucking Ashton Kutcher will show up at the door being like, hey, I want to talk to you. Anyway, Brandon answers that interesting one for a multitude of reasons, that he worked largely under the assumption that whoever blew the horn would control the heroes. And so he wrote several sequences like that where the horn if the horn were captured, things would go very poorly for the light. He was then quite surprised when Harriet wrote back to him on the manuscript, quite interjectedly crossing out lines and explaining that the heroes could not ever follow the shadow. Called and asked for confirmation, clarification, pointing out it seemed otherwise from the text, from the fandom interpretation. Explain that this is one of Jim, who, if you don't know, that's the actual first name for Robert Jordan. One of his ruses that the characters in the book were wrong and repeating bad information. We've seen this time and time again. It's just like watching pick a news network. And that Jim had been very clear with Harriet that was not the case, that it could only guess that these reports in the fandom were cases where people asked him questions he could Aes Sedai his way out of, and something got muddled in translation and communication. There was a follow-up with Harriet and Maria, or he suggested following up with Harriet and Maria on this one. Maria says that she can't really add anything there. She thought she was led to believe, as opposed to coming up with herself, that heroes really wouldn't follow the horn if it were blown by Team Dark. But I cannot swear to that. I was unaware of the rift answer. Of course, it's possible that the heroes themselves don't know the correct answer. They're heroes after all. And unless there's some hero orientation meeting where they are filled in on the details, they may just assume that they're always going to be heroes, as in champions of goodness and the light. And I will tell you, like, after meeting Harriet in person a couple of times now and being able to remember most of it, that definitely sounds like a Maria answer for sure.
Okay, after meeting Maria.
Did I say Harriet? I meant Maria.
You did. I was just about to say, have you met Harriet?
No, I'm speaking it into the universe so that I get to meet Harriet.
One of these days, it'll happen.
One of these days.
Also, having met Maria, I will say, just what an absolute peach of a woman that is, and I don't mean that sarcastically at all. She is a lovely human, an absolutely amazing person, and she will be at WatCon.
Yeah,
that is confirmed. So go to WatCon and meet Maria.
I was going to say something, but I don't know if I'm actually allowed to.
Real quick, tangent, real quick. Last WatCon, which is the Le Premier WatCon.
I call it my Rona Rumble.
To
be clear, I did not get the Rona from WatCon. I got it from the air travel or my job prior to travel. So.
Maria, when they reached out to her to say, hey, we're doing WatCon, or did they reach out to her, or did she just get wind of it? I can't remember. Yeah.
I don't know how much I'm actually allowed to say about how that transpired. I will say there was nothing other than reassuring that she was more than welcome and we'd love to have her there. WatCon staff, planners, whatever, officially did nothing. Nothing special happened. No strings were pulled, nothing like that to get Maria to come to WatCon.
Right.
She was heavily in, yeah. But
So
she asked and everything and was reassured that she was more than welcome and that we'd love to have her there.
and
For sure.
I think she ended up actually attempting to purchase a ticket. If I'm not mistaken.
That I don't know the specifics of.
I maybe I'm misremembering, but I heard, and maybe this is rumor that I'm perpetuating. Anyway, I heard that she was like, actually, it sounds like a lot of fun. I'd like to go. How much is the ticket? And then Nabliss, in his incredible wisdom, was like, Maria need not pay to attend. And she showed up, and one would think that someone like that would be like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm Maria. I'm here. It's cool. No, Maria worked volunteer shifts.
Oh, she did.
Listen to what I just said.
The check-in desk.
Listen to what I
like,
just said.
What, an hour? 2 hours?
Volunteer shifts, plural. She spent, because if there's one thing about this fandom that is just amazing, it is how much, when we get to the levels of Alan and Maria and Harriet, all the way down to the plebes like us, they have an equal stake and an equal passion in making sure that the love for the Wheel of Time never dies.
Oh, dude. So when I saw her standing there, I thought she was just like looking or waiting for something. So I walked to her. I was like, hey, are you looking for something or whatever? And she's like, oh no, I'm doing my shift. And I was like, you're doing your what? She's like, no, I volunteered to help with, like, because this was our entry and exit monitor. This was somebody that was there making sure people walking into the con space had con badges. It's volunteered for it, absolutely volunteered for it, and stood there for like an hour. And I dare anyone to come face to face with Maria without their badge and say, no, it's fine, I'm supposed to be here. Like, I'm pretty sure she just like pull out the best like kung fu flip on you,
but in the sweetest way possible.
Oh yeah. It's like you'd be on your ass looking up at her saying, thank you for being very kind.
you would get your ass kicked in the nicest, and in such a way that at the end you'd be like, oh, thank you for correcting me, ma'am. I'll go over here and get my tickets. No, thank you. No, I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely
no.
True.
If you've not ever had the pleasure, that's one of the other reasons I would strongly encourage, if you have the means, to attend either JordanCon or WotCon, because you get just experiences that are irreplaceable, that are completely unique, that you absolutely cannot get anywhere else. I said what I said.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into as we start drawing to a close here.
Yes.
And I didn't even think about doing this beforehand, but since it's included in one of the resources that we frequently use, we make no secret of it. We use the absolute living shit out of both library.tarvalon.net and wat.fandom.com. Fantastic resources. I know that wat.fandom.com has done a lot to update with Origins information from the Origins of the Wheel of Time books. I'm not going to say that Tarvalon.net hasn't. I just haven't read enough on Tarvalon.net to know, but definitely go and check them out as well, because they are just an incredibly fantastic group in their own right.
Tarvalon.net is also one of the OGs. For those of you uninitiated, they've been around forever.
Oh, long time. So there's a section of wat.fandom.com that talks about contradictions. To their credit, they give the answers to the contradictions in the section contradictions. So I kind of am like, we don't really need this section. because I've seen things that are far more confusing that have far less about the potential contradictions. Maybe it's a work in progress thing that's being done for more things. I don't know. I would rather see it and have it to talk about than not see it and not have it to talk about. So, but especially for the Horn of
Fair.
Valere, I don't think it's necessary. So the first one that this brings up is this is in the Great Hunt when Arthur Hawkwing is talking to Rand, saying, "I fought by your side times beyond number, Lews Therin, and faced you as many more. We have come to the Horn, but we must follow the banner and the dragon." And the question then being, if they must follow the banner and the dragon, how had he faced them? The easy answer is he wasn't on the side of the light, or they weren't heroes when they faced it.
I mean, keep in mind as well, there are many, many lifetimes that they had in which they weren't even channelers, where they could have opposed each other.
Well, this is just
Or
heroes of the
fought
Horn in general. Most of them
alongside
aren't
each other.
channelers anyway.
No, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But remember, one of the benefits of being a
Or
hero
it
of the Horn-
appears that most of them are not channelers anyway. Let me say,
and remember,
caveat.
Being a hero of the Horn means you have access to all the memories from all of your previous lives. So the interesting thing there being, really, this is an interesting sort of contrast between Arthur Hawkwing and Moradin, right? Because Moradin says the same thing. We've fought each other 1,000 million lifetimes. We've fought each other so many times. And it's like, okay, but Arthur Hawkwing is like, okay, no, I'm a soldier. I understand. You win some, you lose some. That's fine. Moradin / Balsman / Ishamael is like, oh, I can't stand losing. I don't like it. And
Sorry, I'm reading what more shot he just posted.
Yeah, no, I was he's on fire tonight. Maybe someone should hire that guy.
Yeah, we should we'll should add a Patreon tier. Pay more shoddy.
Hey, more shoddy. For all of you.
And we do have an EIN now, so we could technically do it.
I mean, that's
be
true.
like, can we pay you in like peanuts and like head pats? Like,
we can pay him in
acceptable?
beer. Are you kidding?
that's true.
He's down for it. He's good for it.
I mean, so some of these like contradictions or whatever, just like a lot of things where people are quick to point out contradictions. Not all, but some. Some of them have just very simple answers. If time is cyclical and has gone on forever and ever and will technically go on forever and ever and ever, then it's honestly it's just a simply factual statistical statement to say we've fought together thousands of times, we fought against each other thousands of times, because throughout the course of the turning of the wheel, souls will be reborn hundreds, thousands, technically an infinite number of times.
Exactly.
And with that infinite number of times, there comes an infinite number of possibilities, because even the dragon can turn to the shadow. So it makes sense. It could just be that they have fought in person many times. There's nothing saying that there wasn't like a dragon soul reborn during Arthur Hawkwing's siege of the White Tower, and they fought and lost. And Arthur Hawkwing, in his Hero of the Horn state, knows,
Yes.
yeah, Lews Therin, I kicked your fucking ass. Like, you were bullshit. Like, you showed up like Darth Vader, and I was there as a fucking Force ghost. So you lost. It's just how this works.
Well,
And
that
now
also
I made you a Force ghost again. So you're welcome for returning you to the age of 22 when you weren't burnt to fucking ugly as shit. So
that also opens up the possibility that the soul of Lews Therin / Rand / the dragon has been spun out
Slash Steve. At some point he was named Steve.
/ Steve has been spun out 1,000 times in the turning of the wheel before he's ever actually needed to be anything important.
Yeah.
So 1,000
That's-
lifetimes of Luz Theron just being a regular, everyday, normal motherfucker. Just a regular,
Just your
everyday,
average,
normal
ordinary,
motherfucker.
everyday motherfucker. Yeah. That's my headcanon for Steve now, by the way. Steve
That's
is
it.
just like, he's like the Mark Twain of the Wheel of Time life. Just Rand's like just the Dragon Soul reborn, writing stories and books,
I love it.
calling people names he definitely
I'm
shouldn't.
in it. I'm in it. I love it. Okay. The Horn of Valere. I think.
Do we want to do the second one? Because they list one more contradiction.
Hit it.
About it's tied into the first, being that Ultra Hawkwing telling Matt in the last battle, this is in A Memory of Light, that they would never fight for the shadow. And it I can't remember what logical fallacy this is, but it relies on a faulty premise from the first contradiction. But it is a logical fallacy where you rely on the premise of the first contradiction being true, so therefore this now becomes a contradiction. It's like fruit of the poisonous tree kind of shit.
Okay.
Where if it's like, well, if you'd never fight for the shadow, then how did you face Luz Theron many times in the past? And it's like, just because he's good guy now doesn't mean he's always Messiah. Like that's non-true Messiah figure, but kind of Messiah figure 101.
Okay.
So the thing about like the Christian Messiah is that he is infallible. He is made flesh, but is God made flesh, is immune from sin, is immune from the not immune from the temptations, but is holy enough to resist the temptations through the power of his Father God. That is the whole thing about why the Christian Jesus Christ was able to take on the sins of the world and be sacrificed to pay atonement for the sins of the world, past, present, and future. That's how that works. You have a being that was actually able to live free of sin just by very nature of their demigod-ish status, to be fair. But that's not what the dragon is. The dragon is more of a pseudo messiah. It is an individual that is reborn with the potential knowledge, with the potential power to be that linchpin point, that deciding factor on, do we tilt the scales into salvation or do we tilt the scales into damnation? And even when they tilt the scales into damnation, somebody else comes in and kind of at least lessens the blow to some extent. So it's the dragon, and this is kind of one of the big things about why people are so freaked and worried about the dragon being reborn, is because it is a fallible or a fallible soul. There's no guarantee that the dragon is going to show up and say, "Yo, guys, I'll make things better." In fact, Rand spends like, I don't know, 12 to 13 books not really making shit better. He didn't make it as worse as it can be, but there's plenty of time that he didn't make shit better because he is fallible.
I feel like, and so this is, I will say, and once again, I want to throw out the precursor. I understand there are many Christian peoples out there. I am not saying anything bad about your faith. I am talking strictly from a story perspective. And in this particular case, I like the fallible story more. One of the things I say to people when I'm trying to get them to read The Wheel of Time is I say to them, yeah, it's a fantasy story where you've got the trope of a savior. However, where that trope is turned upon its head is that the savior is destined to go insane. The savior will absolutely go insane. Now, will he go insane before the end and kill everyone? Or will he stave it off long enough to make sure that everyone's safe at the end of the story? We don't know. And as a first-time reader, you go through the story going, Rand is batshit crazy right now. I'm scared because if we need Rand and Matt and Perrin, all three, to be at the last battle and to fight tooth and nail to not die, and Rand is insane already at book 6, book 2, we've got problems. This is not okay, and that's one of the most engaging pieces of the story, to have a savior prophesied to save the world. Oh, by the way, he's also insane, and we don't actually know if he's going to actually do that or not, because the prophecies also say he could just as easily just kill everything again.
It comes down to the first Spider-Man movie. One of the things that that Goblin says to Spider-Man, right? Do you know what people love more than a hero? Watching a hero fall.
Exactly.
But there's beyond that, what do people love more than watching a hero fall? A hero fall, go to the brink of turning or dying or whatever, and redeeming and showing that they can come back from the edge. Because people love the story. It's both the solution and the problem with like Superman, right? Superman, other than like Injustice or whatever, for the most part, the idea of Superman is he's infallible. He resists the temptation to kill, resists the temptation to do that. For at least the earlier parts of Superman, they brought him more into the realm of susceptibility to more like mortal thoughts and concerns more recently. But those are big things, right? Like whenever Man of Steel came out and he snapped Zod's neck, people were like, "Holy shit!"
Oh yeah,
he killed somebody. Like he broke his rule, which is also one of the arguments why Batman is better than Superman. But that doesn't include the Ben Affleck Batman. So
it does not.
Anyway, but that's the thing that people love. They don't want to live in a world or be in a world where people are always going to be superior to them. They want everybody to be susceptible to the same plights, the same desires, the same risk, the same vices, where everybody is vulnerable. But what they love to see, as well as that, is somebody falling victim and being susceptible to all of that, and still rising from the ashes and doing the right thing, being the hero, and then getting the recognition for the hero. Which I think is why Rand's story is compelling to those of us that it is compelling to, because it is a story of somebody that didn't want fame, didn't want fortune, was forced into fame and fortune, was going down this really dark road where they might destroy everything, and then being brought back from the brink of being the worst thing to ever happen to the world to being one of the better things that ever happened to the world. And I think part of that for sure came into conversations not only he had with Heroes of the Horn, but conversations that other people had with Heroes of the Horn, like Matt talking with Arthur Hawkwing, and seeing how all of that went, and my feeble attempt to bring things back to the Hero of the Horn rather than a moral lesson about being a fallible Messiah figure versus being an infallible Messiah figure.
Hey, it made sense along the way. That's what matters.
Yeah. But Batman is better.
Okay.
There's that.
There's that. Also, I will say this with regards to Superman killing General Zod. All of you who hated it can fuck right off, because that was one of the most emotionally charged moments in any Superman story, and I will die on this hill.
Oh, it fucking broke him.
Right?
He was so hurt. Like his absolute enemy that was trying to destroy everything he loved, and he kills him and is just broken.
It hurt so bad. And even the justification that he was defending the innocent and the people that he had grown to love, even that justification was not enough. I mean, okay, listen to me right now. I'm telling you right now, if someone comes into my home
You listen
with
to
the
me.
intent
You
to
listen
do my
right now.
family harm, I will be happy to end it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize for that. Superman was way more emotionally impacted than I think I would be, given the same scenario. So if you don't like that Superman because of that scene, then you missed the point entirely.
I mean, that's the other thing. Like, Superman was never meant to mirror the human standard, right?
Ever.
Superman was
Ever.
meant to show, at least initially, in the initial vision, an infallible human standard, right?
Yeah.
He was meant to be a comic heroization of an infallible Messiah-esque figure, somebody that comes in, not only has the power, but has the mental space, the mental allegiance, and the mental fortitude to always do the right thing, even when the decision was hard, to not kill the bad guy, even though he demonstrably can at any time. And this is semi-replicated in Spider-Man, is one of the reasons why Spider-Man is one of the more favorite characters in Marvel versus, Superman and DC. Because for those of you that don't know, Spider-Man has, like, the whole reason Bucky is surprised in the movies is like, that's a 14-year-old to just stop my punch. And Spider-Man,
it was awesome.
Spider-Man continuously has to hold back to avoid killing those he's fighting. Now there are little wrenches in that, especially in the cinematic universe, because he technically should have taken off Goblin's head in like one fucking hit. But
he was holding
I mean, well, there's also a thing where Goblin was on the super soldiers or super goblins or whatever the fuck he was on. Like, he was on that wacky green tobacco shit. Anyway,
the devil
has nothing to do with Heroes of the Horn. As we devolve
the Horn of
into
Valere. Andrew, give me your final thoughts. Anything you've learned, anything that's changed your perspective about the Horn of Valere after this episode?
I will say the biggest change is viewing the Horn of Valere as similar to the Choden Call access keys. More shoddy, honestly, dude. Like, the amount that you contribute to this show,
he came in clutch tonight, dude.
Is incredible. This is one of those nights where you brought the fucking receipts. It was fucking screenshot after screenshot after screenshot, that both backed up and corrected points that we made. Have like 5 windows open. Nice. There's a reason we call you the fact checker, Mahale. The fact of the distinction of there being heroes tied to the wheel is such an important distinction, and it honestly, I think it is the key to making everything make realistic sense within the Wheel of Time. It makes that pool of hero-esque souls exist, ties them to the wheel. If the wheel spins out all the threads, it can then also analyze all the threads and then allow them to make the decision to become a hero. But once you decide down that path, that's it. You're stuck. You're gonna be a hero forever. It's interesting. I wonder how that really works with Brigitte, because maybe it just really hadn't happened to Brigitte, so she was unsure if she was gonna still be a hero or not. But she obviously was. So maybe the wheel doesn't care if you get pushed out unnaturally or not. You're still a hero of the wheel, and you're in the pool that the Horn of Valere can access. And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, yeah, no, I don't. It makes the Horn of Valere's mechanics, I think, make a lot more sense. That's going to be my headcanon from now on. The Horn of Valere is simply an access key to the pool of heroes in Teleron Riyadh. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. That's what I learned. Thanks, Morshadi. Thanks, Josh. All that. Yeah, Josh. What do you think? What are your kind of final thoughts on the Horn of Valere?
So, my final thoughts with the Horn of Valere is, I'm going to say, I'm kind of going to echo you here, because viewing
just
the
to piggyback
Horn
off of that real quick.
Like, okay. Follow me for a second. Brandon Sanderson has written a number of books, and he's had an extremely detailed magic system in each one of those universes. Okay, cool. We're all cool. We're all fine here. Now we understand that's the thing that's happened.
We're all cool. We're all frosty.
However, with the Wheel of Time, we have one magic system, one set of rules that we operate within. Reading these books, as many of us have done, reading them through a dozen times and finding something new every single time. And I feel like I'm still here 4 years into the Black Tower podcast. I'm still learning new shit, because nobody can tell me that the Horn of Valere is a ter'angreal, because now I believe very, very strongly that the person who created the Horn of Valere was a dreamer. They walked into Tel'aran'rhiod. They were able to master Tel'aran'rhiod in such a way, or study Tel'aran'rhiod in such a way, that they were able to make contact with the heroes of the Horn. They were able to learn about the nature of the connection that the heroes have to the wheel, and they were able to use that understanding to create the access key, which was the horn. Go, what you got it? Spit it out.
Question for a future episode. Once made aware that the heroes of the Horn were real and existed, could Egwene, with her mastery of Tel'aran'rhiod, have gone in, said, "Take me to our hero of the Horn," and shown up with somebody? And is the link to Tel'aran'rhiod why the horn has its loop spiral shape? I think we can easily answer that one. Yes, probably. That's probably very much why it has its loop spiral shape. Because life, it's like a circle. There are no points. It's like a circle. But I do wonder the question. That's something we should do. Have we done an episode on the nature of Tel'aran'rhiod? On the World of Dreams?
You know what? I feel like if we're asking this question, we should just throw it in there.
Well, if we have,
because
we can do it again.
Because I'll fucking do it again. No,
put it on the schedule.
I love that.
Oh, geez, Rick. I don't know if we should do this, man.
Come on, Morty. You'll just be a quick 90-minute episode.
Morty.
It's fine.
Infinite possibilities. Come on, Morty. Oh, geez, Rick.
It's gonna be great. 90-minute episode.
I can feel
Morty,
it in my taint. Oh no.
We're gonna do this. Tickle the taint, Morty. Take your episode and put it way up your butthole, Morty. The fact that someone in the Age of Legends engraved "Death is no part of my call" upon the horn itself, because they understood the horn, I feel like
Norm.
just adds.
By the way, we're in the live recordings discussion chat, not the that's happening. But Merry New Year.
I feel like it's just it's such a powerful piece of storytelling, and I love it. I absolutely love it. The Horn of Valere.
You know what I love?
What do you love?
I love these metaphysics, these meta questions episodes so much, because we start them and I'm sitting there looking like metaphysics of the Horn of Valere. I have no fucking clue. And next thing I know, we've been recording an episode for like an hour and a half plus. Let's see, we started recording like just our pure straight through recording at like what, 7:45? And it now says almost 2.5 hours.
Do you know, and here's the thing. First and foremost, if you're still here, leave a comment below and tell us what you think we should break down metaphysically next. Because
if you're listening live, wait for this to go live and then comment below what you think we should do live.
Go comment on our YouTube. Fuck.
If you could like help boost our algorithm, we would like totally appreciate it.
We're trying to get our YouTube numbers up, okay? Our YouTube numbers are rookie numbers. We're trying to pump up those numbers.
We've been in the 580s of subs for the last 2 months.
So
for a while.
go tell your friends and families. Okay.
Come subscribe to the Black Tower Podcast.
We're
on
cool. We're
YouTube.
cool. We are cool. Okay. I am now. Oh God. I don't have a horn with me. I was about to be like, I'm now gonna blow the horn and summon subscribers. That was gonna be funny as shit. But I don't have a horn anywhere near me.
Oh, what happened, Mister? I used to play brass.
I don't have a trombone anymore, bro. That was like 25.
Well, why don't you
years ago.
French your horn and make one show up?
I summon the heroes of YouTube subscription to our channel. It's actually
Is my pipe still at your house?
It's the one I'm sucking on right now.
What? Oh my!
Just kidding. This one's mine.
Bonus
Yes, yours is
bonus
still at my
features.
house.
No, the one you're sucking on is mine.
Yeah, that's right.
Bonus flavor.
I'm sucking on Andrews right now. Hey, everybody. Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for going to podcast blacktarpod.com for all of your amazing tainty needs. Thanks for being so amazing with your
Bro, if I could braid my pipe, that would be absolutely insane.
Once again, the live chat has broken me.
Can you tie it in a knot? Can you tie it in a bow?
Okay. Thanks for being here. Thanks
Oh.
for being amazing. Thanks for being
Jesus Christ.
awesome. Thank you for
Is that actually from the
listening.
Transformers animated show? Holy shit.
it's Mech, dude.
Is that Mech?
Yeah, it's a good
I mean,
one.
I saw like red and blue and white and assumed it was Optimus.
I mean, fair. Optimus
Like-
is the GOAT.
Like early
So anyway,
2000s,
thanks for
maybe
being
even
here.
the 90s. Oh,
Thanks
Voltron.
Oh God, Voltron was that's my childhood right there. All you old fuckers with
Hey.
me watching Voltron Saturday morning cartoons and shit. This is Commander Keith calling Galaxy Garrison. Yeah, y'all know that shit. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a listener of the Black Tower Podcast, the best damn Black Tower out there. Thank you. We hope that as you're finished with this episode, you leave here just a little bit more insane than you were when you first started. From all of us here at the Black Tower, I am Josh, your Soro Van Mahale, and I commit to drinking this drink until Andrew is done talking. Go.
All right. So I'm going to pull out the slow talk. I already failed.
I did.
Yeah.
I failed.
Talk about broken promises. It's like broken condoms over here. So many broken promises.
Hey, don't talk about what happened at Jordan Con last time.
Hey, that's the best event for some people's lives. Anyway.
Oh, shit. From all of us here at the Black Tower, I have been Josh.
I have been Andrew, your Bajan Mahale. Daniel, your Omicron Mahale, sends his best wishes and looks forward to joining us as soon as his duties outside the tower allow. But as Daniel would say, hope you're having a fantastic morning. And hope you're having a fantastic morning. If we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, good night. And don't forget the old swipe and seal
Always watching,
on your mom.
always running the show.
In the tower, you can bring your pain. In the tower, you can feel the strain.
You've been having so much trouble just fitting in. In the tower, we can help you. We will make you sing.
In the tower.